How's it going tonight, guys? It is Wednesday night once again, which means it is time for Wednesday Wisdom. Guys, I've got a huge piece of advice here for you. Absolutely phenomenal. And I'm going to make a absolutely enormous claim here. And I'm going to say that if you can grasp what I'm talking about tonight, and it's going to be quick. I've got two analogies, a little bit of explanation, and that's it. But if you can grasp what I'm talking about tonight, what you're going to do is at least, if bare minimum, cut your distance to your goal, cut your distance to your success, to your ambitions, to your aspirations in half. And that's a bold claim, guys, but that is how I feel about this principle that I'm going to be talking to you tonight. Perfection isn't required for success. Perfection is not required for success. So many people think that in order to be successful, they have to be perfect, all right? First analogy, okay? First analogy. You want to stay for the second analogy because it's something huge, okay? It's something that not too many people know. I just read it in a book not too long ago, and it blew my mind. First analogy, though, imagine yourself driving down the highway, okay? I'm talking the longest stretch of straight highway that you can possibly imagine. All right, and I don't know where that is for you. When I think about it, in my mind, I took a couple months back, took a trip out to the other side of Kansas. Actually, Kansas City is the Missouri side of Kansas City, in fact. But I drove across Kansas, and I mean, there are some flat pieces of land out there. All right, so I want you to picture this and imagine yourself driving. When you're driving, what happens the moment, I don't care how straight that road is, the moment you lock your arms and say, okay, I'm not turning the car anymore, I'm not moving the wheel at all. What happens, guys? All of a sudden, your car, you think you're going straight, all of a sudden you start going off to the side, off to the other side, and if you locked your arms and never turned, one of two things. You're either going to hit the oncoming traffic or you're going to go off into the ditch. One of those two things. Because you're never really going 100% straight. And the road is never really 100% straight either. Alright? Analogy number 2. Did you guys know? Okay, and this isn't even an analogy. This is a fact. This is something I read from a book. They cited some source. I don't have it offhand right now. But the Apollo... Okay, the Apollo rocket ship that went to the moon, brought astronauts to the moon, brought them to the moon, and then brought them safely home. Did you know for that entire trip, it was on target, perfectly on target, 2 or 3% of the entire trip. Right? 2 or 3% of the entire trip, it was exactly on its path to the moon. That means the entire time, the rocket, what it was doing, non-stop course corrections, non-stop. Okay, it'd go, oh, a little bit too far to the left, oh, a little bit too far to the right, a little bit too far to the left, a little bit too far to the right. All right, and what does this mean for you? You might be thinking, Jonathan, okay, so a rocket ship was off 97% of the time. Okay, and when I drive my car, I have to keep correcting it. So what? When you're going towards your goal, so many of us get caught up in the fact that I've got to be perfect. I've got to be going towards my goal. Every single action has to be perfect. Every single thing I say has to be perfect. Every single thing, if you're a business, everything that you produce, everything that you do has to be always perfect. And that's not true. But what you do have to be doing is constant course corrections. You need to find your boundaries. You need to find your guides and say, oh, as soon as I go too far this way, I need to course correct. As soon as I go too far this way, I need to course correct. Because your path to success, we always say that the quickest path, the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. Success doesn't work like that. You cannot make it to success. You cannot make it to being whatever you envision yourself being, going in a straight line. You will have your ups, you will have your downs. You'll have your good days and your bad days. You'll have your good moments and your bad moments throughout those days. But the overall picture is, are you constantly correcting yourself to make sure that you're on the path? Just like when you're driving that car, Do you get to the city? Do you get to the other state? Do you get to your destination? Or I should say, do you not get there if you constantly have to correct? No, you have to correct. If you're not correcting, then you're not going to get there. If you ever lock your arms, like I said, you're hitting traffic or you're hitting the ditch. Done deal. Whenever you are chasing success, whenever you are chasing your goal, whenever you're chasing your vision, I don't care if that's for your family, for your spirituality, for your business, for anything, for your job, for your school, doesn't matter. Whenever you're chasing success, do not lock your arms. Do not take the course correction off. You might only be on target perfectly 2 or 3% of the entire trip. But at least you're on target and at least you're constantly correcting. And when you do that, you will be successful. You will make it there and you will have anything that you can dream of in your life. Guys, like I said, short but sweet, and you need to understand that, because when you do, when you understand that concept, you will cut your path to success in half. Because so many people give up because they aren't perfect. Don't give up, just correct yourself. You guys have an amazing Wednesday night. Absolutely amazing Thursday, Friday, all the way. I can't wait to see you till next Wednesday so I can give you another piece of Wednesday wisdom, guys. Have an amazing night. Bye-bye.